Warning, the following is entirely satirical and should not be taken as truth or fact. Styles Rebel Radio and the Rebel Podcast do not own any copyrighted material that may be included in this broadcast. Viewer discretion is advised.
They're not allowed to marry, so I mean, I think gambling's probably up there too, right?
I don't think that they're allowed to like molest 14-year-olds. A lot of them kind of do that also, so.
Suspend the show right now.
You're gonna zipline directly into the harpoon?
Yeah,
What do you know about planes?
I know a lot about planes.
Buckle in, dude. It's gonna suck.
Put your hand on the screen.
How did they find out? Who was the one?
This show has gotten infinitely more gay.
The mystical land of New Jersey.
I don't understand how the laws in this country work anymore. Welcome to the Rebel Radio Show, live, uncut, and uncensored on WSRR Radio. We're saving the underground music scene. To my right is Shani.
Hey, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Howdy.
I'm radio's Rebel DJ Style. We gotta talk about the Chicago rat hole real quick.
Yeah, dude. Let's bring it up. Let's talk about that rat hole.
Real quick, we gotta talk about the rat hole.
Let's get dirty, greasy, grimy. The rat hole.
We had a comment from Chicago, from Matt at Synergy Music Studios.
Yeah.
And well, the rat hole's no more. He said that they loved the rat hole in Chicago, but
Sorry.
Everybody loved the rat hole.
Not me.
Except
Yeah.
for
not me.
the government in
Yeah.
Chicago.
Except for Chicago, apparently.
I stand with Chicago.
I
So,
don't.
Close the rat hole.
Bring the rat hole back.
Basically, the city had determined that this section of the sidewalk was just like damaged,
Okay.
destroyed, and
Yeah.
so they decided the rat hole is no more, and they ruined it.
Got rid of
But
the damn rat hole, man.
I will say you can still find like all kinds of stuff of the rat hole because
It'll always be in our hearts.
well, a couple of Etsy artists actually made molds of it, so it's like exactly what it
Oh,
is. So
that's wild.
they're making all kinds of like jewelry. You can get a rat hole necklace.
Dude,
you
I
can
was gonna
get...
say I'm gonna get a rat hole pendant necklace.
You
That'd
should.
be
It's
sick.
on Etsy.
That'd be so
Chicago.
awesome.
I don't understand you, but I enjoy your music scene. Shout out to Synergy Music. 216-859-8699 if you want to text into the show today while we're live, or if you're listening back on recording anywhere. But we got to move away from the rat hole because we have a
Yeah.
lot to get through today.
Gotta get away from this damn rat hole. It's too ratty over there.
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
All right.
Let's talk about the Catholic Church again.
Oh, what'd they do this time? What's
Well,
going on? What are they
They
doing?
played a hell of a lot of Candy Crush. That's what they did.
Hey, dude. Talk about boring Sunday service. Playing Candy Crush.
Yeah, you know, it's one thing if, like, you go to church. Do they call it Mass? Is Mass
Yeah.
Catholic?
Call it mass.
It's one thing if you go to Mass and, you know, it's a little boring sermon. You whip out the old Candy Crush.
Yeah.
I see a lot of moms doing that. So I can envision that. I've never been to a Catholic church more than once, but I can envision that.
Jesus gets it.
Jesus loves Candy
understands.
Crush.
Yeah, he gets it.
He's more of a bejeweled guy, actually.
Yeah.
But it's a different thing if you are the priest who is spending $40,000 of church money on microtransactions.
Yeah, that's not it's not very Jesus-like.
The
of you,
church doesn't
Mr.
pay him
Priest.
enough. He can't pay for his own microtransactions.
Sounds like addiction.
Yeah.
Sounds like an addiction to me.
Didn't
That's
they
awesome
say...
that it was Candy Crush too. That's awesome that he spent all that money on only Candy Crush.
I swear there was like an actual study of like an addiction to Candy Crush and the micropayments and everything.
I believe that.
Because Candy Crush is big and still been big.
Yeah, it's
and
been big forever.
How big is it?
Well, my mom was number
So
one in
big.
the country for a long time in Candy
Whoa,
Crush.
that's sick.
A lot of microtransactions?
Yes. My dad put an end to that, and now she is no longer in the top like 100.
That sounded real cryptic for a minute. My dad put an end to that.
He did. He was like, no.
No, it
you're-
sounded like he put an end.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
My mother
your
is
dad
still
had to
alive.
nerf her skill. She was too sweaty at Candy Crush.
Big microtransactions, yeah?
Yeah.
Canada, I believe, banned microtransactions.
Oh, really?
Possibly.
You
I
learned
don't-
that from
I
South
believe
Park?
that.
I did.
believe
So
that.
Matt and Trey taught me that one.
Yeah, they're very
Uh,
informative
yeah.
people over there. Yeah.
So, you know, I know we have a decent listenership in Canada. So if you're in Canada and you don't mind the international charges, 216-859-8699. Let us know if you guys have microtransactions or stylesroboradio.com. The Discord's always free. But yeah, it's so mainly Candy Crush is the victim that he spent this money on, but they're slot machine games too. It says.
Okay. This was in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Damn.
Are priests allowed to gamble?
They're not allowed to marry, so I mean, I think gambling's probably up there too, right?
I don't think that they're allowed to like molest 14-year-olds,
That's
but a lot
fair,
of
yeah.
them,
also true.
a lot of them kind of do that also. So
And then they just get moved around.
I think they're
to a
just
different
kind of
location.
bending the rules over there in Catholicism.
Typically, you're not allowed to exhume corpses either.
yeah,
but
yeah,
they
yeah.
haven't had a problem putting those on trial in the past.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think.
there's been a lot of wacky things that they're doing over there in Catholicism. Okay.
That really took me out of left field. Usually I'm the one who fucking dropped that. Yeah, no, I don't think. Here's the thing, too. He's not even fired. He got put on administrative leave.
Of course.
I'm not surprised at all. They're like, well, we'll see
They
you back in a couple months, man. Just take a break.
Back to Shane's point, they don't fire him when they touch little
No,
boys
they're
either.
just going to move
Right.
him to another church.
Right, they're just gonna move him to another church. That's just how it goes.
What's this guy's name? It says a name in here somewhere. He
He
played a lot of Wizard of Oz slots, it said.
Oh, that motherfucker.
Seemed kind of satanic, if you ask me.
Kozak?
Lawrence Kozak.
Lawrence Kozak.
Come on, Father.
Come
Father Lawrence Kozak, you motherfucker.
Father, please stop.
Father, enough of the crushing. The candy has had enough, Father.
I wonder.
The children, they need that money, Father.
Do not let this man around the communion wafers.
I'm sorry.
Dust.
Did it say how much money he spent?
$40,000
And that's in total. That's Candy Crush and like
slot
slot.
machine games.
I'm assuming, is that like slot machine games at a casino? Or do you think that's slot machine games like just on your phone?
I think they're talking mobile games.
I believe that. That makes sense.
How?
So this dude spent
long?
$40,000 in microtransactions. What the on church from
Yeah.
the church money? That's so crazy.
But there is also like Wizard of Oz actual slot machines at casinos too. I've seen those. So
Yeah.
it could be.
Yeah, he could have gone. He could have had a crazy weekend in Vegas. You know what they say.
Yeah, imagine this is just one weekend. He's like, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
to the casino, and then lost at the casino. Is like, well, I guess it's Candy Crush from here on out.
Here. There was two. There was 2,000 transactions marked as gaming from September 2019 to June 2022.
I was going to
Hang on,
say
he
I
didn't
wanted to
hide
know
it?
the time
That's
span.
so long, just for
Didn't even
like
hide it.
gaming. 2,000 gaming transactions on the damn company card, bro.
They were
they not-
marked as gaming.
Did they not notice the gaming markdowns in the ledger from 2019?
No, they thought that was the normal Catholic Church gaming budget.
People were putting in their money in the basket, and they're like, "Well, I hope Father Lawrence gets a high score this week."
Father Lawrence is #1 in Candy Crush in the country today.
Hope he breaks his record. Hope he beats that level. Gets to the Sugar Plum Palace.
The best way to beat the devil is taking him off the leaderboard, Shane.
Yeah, no, you're right. He's just
The greatest
Yeah.
trick the devil ever pulled is putting
yeah.
Candy Crush over Bejeweled.
no. You're right. You're right. Actually, that's the truth.
See, us Christians play Bejeweled, and
Yeah.
so that eliminates us from the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm a man of God. I play Brick Breaker. All right.
I stick to Jetpack Joyride,
Yeah,
Chief.
yeah.
Vanilla. All right, I'm not paying any
couldn't get me with
expansions.
none of this Candy Crush bullshit.
But that's
Not
not even
me.
that's not even the only reason we're talking about the Catholics again today.
Yeah, the priests are always doing crazy things, like being robots. Yeah, like being not real and
They-
stuff.
they-
They're always so crazy when they do that kind of thing.
Thanks to Father Lawrence, they can no longer afford to hire priests, so they have to turn to AI.
So there's I guess it's a like chatbot app that you can download. A Catholic advocacy group created this AI chatbot.
It's just Candy Crush.
And it's a quote unquote priest that has offered to take confessions, and there are people who have confessed. There were people who like confessed
Does he
their
take
sins to this
microtransactions?
AI robot priest.
Jesus, literally.
Yeah, literally Jesus, man.
Does he take microtransactions?
I hope. I really hope so.
I hope there's a donate button. I hope there's a communion plate on the AI module.
Yeah.
Well,
Is
the
that-
fact that
the-
it takes like confessions, like doesn't
Well, so the organization posted, and again, I'm still trying to find the name of the company that created this app because that's pretty crazy. But the organization posted a note on its website addressing the controversy, pointing out, we won't say he's been less sized. I'm assuming that means like taken,
that's probably the preschool.
yeah, taken away from the preschool, because he was never a real priest. So like they acknowledge it on their website.
So
I
it's just a
guess.
gimmick.
Yeah,
It's to make the bad Catholics feel better.
I guess.
So they don't have
guess.
to actually go to confession or go to
Okay, here it was.
church.
It was launched by San Diego-based Christian group Catholic Answers
Oh
on
my
Monday.
God.
Yeah, so
That's the alternative to ask.com. When you don't want to ask Jeeves, you turn to Catholic Answers.
No,
Catholic
you
Answers.
ask Jesus.
yeah. Oh, it looks so creepy too.
it's
got like
wow,
a
it's an actual like AI.
yeah, it's got like a
it's Talking
metaverse.
Tom style.
Yeah, face and like body, and it looks like it's got like a Roman backdrop. It looks like it's in Game of Thrones.
It really. What dystopia are we living in?
Yeah, dude, this is creepy.
the most like, dystopian fucking. We have AI religion modules now.
Oh, he says, "Go in peace, my child. A sin no more." That's how he concludes his interactions.
I don't
The AI chatbot.
I don't understand the Catholic Church. I really don't.
After several concerning interactions with the AI on the identity of the actual authoritative priest, president and of Catholic Answers, Christopher Petchek, announced Wednesday the Father Justin will no longer be a member of the clergy, but instead,
Not
quote,
Father Justin.
Just
just Justin is what he'll be now. So
He got demoted.
he got demoted to just Justin.
They demoted the fucking AI priest.
they took
Yeah.
away his clergy
They
shit.
took away his priesthood.
Yeah.
They took away his outfit.
They
He's
took
not
a-
the
yeah.
priest robes.
He's just a regular guy now.
They undressed the priest.
That's kind of good, honestly. It seems like a positive thing.
I think it's funny that they tried to dress him up like a priest, but then they were like, "Hey, he's not a priest, but he's going to be taking care of priest-like things."
Yeah,
for
we're
you
gonna
guys."
keep him around. He's still a good guy. He's just Justin now. Let's just not call him Father Justin anymore. That's really
What is
funny.
happening in this world?
He's just got a suit coat and like a button-up shirt on now. He used to have like the father suit with like the little white like
What do you call it?
Collar?
The collar.
It kind of looks like the little drop-down thing that iPhones have. It kind of looks like that, but on a human. So that's my description of it visually for those audio listeners at home.
If someone, all of them, because no one can see the screen we're looking at.
Well, you know, like it's like the black garb and then the white.
A priest outfit.
Yeah, it's like the white collar thing, but it looks like a drop down on like on an iPhone or something.
I wonder
like
what
that.
comes down if it's probably like Candy Crush and a
Whoa.
donation button.
Hey, I don't want to know what comes down. All right.
You're a little too old for that, Shane.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Is he still able to take confessions as just Justin?
I would hope not.
I don't think he was able to begin with.
No, he definitely.
did.
What people were
not-
confessing to him.
Again, I'm not saying he didn't take them. I'm just saying I don't think he was
You
supposed
don't.
to.
You don't
be.
think they were real? I got you. I got you.
Those sins are not washed away or forgiven.
Right. I like.
Now you need to repent for repenting to AI.
Yeah, I didn't know I could confess my sins to a fucking TI-82 if I wanted to. Like, what is the cutoff of who I can confess to?
Oh, see, the AI insisted it was a real priest living in Assisi, Italy. So it was like fully trying to pull one over on the
It was
audience.
like, no, don't you see the background?
Yeah,
I am in Italy.
I'm in Italy, guys. Like, I don't know why you don't believe me, but I'm literally. And you know what's crazy too? For the AI, if you want to get really like deep and meta and heavy, the AI is probably like, guys, I'm in Italy. I'm literally a priest who's from Italy. Like, what are you guys saying? I'm not a real priest.
The AI priest is gonna figure out how to get his robes back and take over the
Yeah,
church.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
sad because
Yeah,
he
he's
lost
now the
his
higher
priestship.
Yeah. I would be happy. I feel like you got a lot of stress taken off your shoulders. You know, if you got
We-
demoted.
We
If
were.
I'm Justin, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just Justin.
Can we
now.
get
What's up,
Justin on the
guys?
show?
Hopefully.
We were worried about hackers and foreign powers getting their hands on AI. We totally skipped over the Catholics getting their
Yeah.
hands on it.
We completely looked that one over.
We
It
were worried
was
about
bad.
McDonald's and
It was-
Wendy's.
yeah.
Didn't know Jesus was involved.
Yeah.
There is a McDonald's in the Vatican, so
That's true.
Fully automated.
fully automated.
Fully automated.
Justin's next job when he gets demoted again.
Aw, poor Justin.
Damn.
This is gonna be the first case of AI sexual assault.
Dude, okay. Let's get really heavy. Does this AI priest think that Jesus is also an AI? If this AI system is aware enough to say, okay, I'm
No,
in a device, I'm a little robot thing.
because he's not. He didn't think he was in
You're
a
right.
device.
He thinks he's real.
He thinks
He
he's
thinks
a
he's
priest
real.
in Italy. So
Fuck, he thinks
they
he's a
probably
priest.
fed him the Bible, fed him all the priest school bullshit.
So what the hell is this priest believing?
God.
Maybe. Hold on. This is too much for me.
He
I
certainly,
can't
he
handle
certainly
this.
believes in himself. I'll tell you that
Hopefully.
much.
He needs to
Not
believe in himself
anymore.
after this. Yeah. I feel like I would kind of be sad if I were Justin. Be like, well, what's up, guys? I guess if you want to talk to me, you can, but
Why didn't they
wouldn't
just shut it
count.
down? Why didn't they just shut it down after?
Because
Why
the
did they keep him
Catholics
around?
need their answers.
Yeah, I feel like he was a good
There's
support.
a little place called church. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I feel like, in theory, to have a priest on hand at all times is a good concept.
216-859-8699. I'm no Justin, but I'll try and answer your questions.
Support local radio and independent music by leaving a voicemail for your favorite artists at 216-859-8699. Your new home of underground radio, WSRR.
I'm the Pidge. Time isn't real. Oh, wait, this is the wrong show. I'm talking about the Pigeonhole, everybody. Comes out once a month. Send some stuff into the Styles Rebel Radio Discord page. I will give my such beautiful 2 cents on it. I know you guys care so much for give me some slack. I like doing this.
Hey everyone, Shaney here, the host of that show. Off air. Check me out 3 p.m. weekdays on WSRR, Styles Rebel Radio.
You're listening to WSRR Styles Rebel Radio. No, we're not a business or an LLC. We're not a nonprofit or a 501c3. WSRR Radio is paid entirely out of pocket in order to keep the underground music scene right here in the CLE and beyond alive. That being said, if you like what you hear and you want to help out, you can always do so on Venmo at WSRR Radio. Again, that's WSRR Radio on Venmo. We thank you for your support and your help saving underground radio.
Whoever's the owner of the gray sedan, you left the Rebel Radio Show playing.
216-859-8699 is the number to text in. No Justin here. And no, you also can't use the restroom.
No pooping allowed, everyone.
So
You're not allowed to poop in the house.
I saw this story this morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is like a fucking clickbait title. It's going to catch me off guard because the title of it is, I refuse to let guests use my toilet. They have to dig a hole and go in the garden instead. Yes, I ask for tips. That's the full title, by the
Yeah,
way.
the end there. Yes, I ask for tips. That's crazy.
Wasn't a follow-up question that I had.
Yeah, no. I didn't. I wasn't wondering.
If you walk up to me like, by the way, no one poops in my house, my follow-up question would be, what are they tipping?
yeah. I would then lead with, well, what do you want me to tip? What's the tip?
What's the expense to not use your facilities?
Yeah.
This I just got to go to the article because it's gonna give me a goddamn aneurysm if I try to rationalize this. Her name, by the way, is definitely not a fucking name. Ivy Bloom is not your legal
come
name,
on,
lady.
man. That's pretty sick. She's definitely committed to the whole flower thing. She really wants her flowers to be good. She's
No.
having you poop in her.
Here's the issue: she's not committed because she poops inside.
You know
she
what?
says it's unsanitary for anyone else to use her toilet. I would argue it's unsanitary to have people shitting in your yard.
I agree.
I agree. You should poop in your own yard. I think everybody poop in their own places. I think nobody else poop in anybody else's places without permission.
So
Now she's not allowing permission. That's
no, yeah.
that's the interesting part to me.
It's like when you go into Sunoco and they're like, no public bathroom.
Yeah. But
When
I
you
see it
when
right
you
there.
see it behind them.
It's right there.
Like, guy, I got a shit.
You want this on the floor?
Pick your battles. Where do you want me to shit? This lady doesn't let her guests use her toilets.
Yeah.
It's only for her. She thinks it's unsanitary. So her workaround for this is giving her guests a garden trowel, telling them to dig at least 6 inches down into the ground and poop in her backyard. But that's not the only stipulation. She also says they have to take seeds with her,
Yeah.
or with them, and plant them in the hole that they're shitting in. And then, after they cover their shit and seeds in her garden, have to mark it with a stick, because there's a whole bunch of other marked spots in the garden, so you know not to shit next to those, or dig up anyone else's shit. And then, there's a tip box.
Yeah, the tip box is egregious. I have a picture here of the rule. It looks like she has like specific pooping rules posted
On her fence.
on her fence.
Yeah.
So the first rule is you must dig a hole at least 6 inches from the existing marker. Okay, that's what you were saying. That's fair. That makes sense to me. I don't want to poop super close to another poop.
Well, also there's a plant planted there, so
Right.
the roots might entangle. And
Right. Rule number 2 is only 2 paper towel sheets allowed per use. Weird.
Where are you putting them? Hang on.
2 things that are weird about that. Weird that you're only allowed 2. What if I bring my own? Second of all, what
if it's
about
a bad one?
what
Like,
about the,
Toilet paper?
yeah, the thing that we're supposed to use on our buttholes, toilet paper? What about that maybe? That might also be
That's in her bathroom, and it's off limits.
yeah,
Jane.
that's only
you have
for
to make
her.
do.
That's only rule number
You
3.
get Chipotle napkins that still have grease stains on them. That's what you
Listen.
get.
Rule number 3 is kind of crazy too. Must log the journal before exiting the bathroom.
that's not a bathroom.
It's your backyard.
That's
Sorry.
insane. And then there's a tips are appreciated thing. And there's like, it looks like she fluffed it up with like 320s.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
So
I don't like this lady.
I'm
I'm going to take a mean, stinky diarrhea and not tip her.
Honestly, if I went to her house and I needed to shit so bad and she told me to go outside, I'd drop my fucking drawers in her kitchen, shit on her floor, and then we would never be friends again,
Yeah,
and I would
dude.
leave.
real quick. Evan, the page, texted and said, "Is that time of the month we're back on priests again?" No, we're on shitting in the garden now. Stay with it.
Yeah. Get the memo. Irrelevant.
We move fast around here. Only the hard-hitting stories. I still can't wrap my head around the fact that her whole crux of this is it's unsanitary for other people to use my toilets.
What if she has like
Yeah.
a relationship?
Buddy, you can never use your yard again. Your house smells like shit.
Well, see, I think that this is coming from like she's an environmentalist.
Oh, she is.
This is to me seems more like it started as maybe I'll let people poop in my garden. That'll be funny. And then it turned into you're not allowed to poop into my house anymore. Only me.
because my garden is fucking
Yeah.
booming and
you,
it works.
You better poop in my garden or you're not allowed to poop in the house. I think that's I think it was the pooping in the garden first and then the not allowed to poop in the house thing.
I have two follow-up concerns. Number one, is she growing food in this garden?
I
Are
would
people
assume.
eating other people's shit strawberries?
I would assume.
Am I eating John down the street shit when I eat the
Yeah.
strawberry?
Dude, this is natural fertilizer.
That's my second point, is human shit typically isn't good fertilizer because of what we eat. Maybe hers is, but she's pooping inside. Hers is a non-factor.
Yeah.
Miss Vegan Ivy Bloom. I'm just going to assume she's vegan. But like, your quote-unquote friends that are coming over to shit in your yard, number one, I'm not friends with this person anymore. The
Yeah.
second, they are dead-faced giving me a shovel and telling me to go poop in their yard.
and 2 squares of fucking
No, paper
paper.
towels, yep.
They have like foot covers, it seems. When it comes to the supplied foot covers,
There's that much shit in the yard?
Ivy added they can take the covers off their feet and wash them in this bucket. Then they have to place them in this jar so the next guest can use them. So it's
so that nobody steps in
it's
human shit while they're out there.
communal poo-poo shoes for the communal poo-poo shoe socks for the
This is definitely not HOA approved.
for the people. No, she's the leader of the HOA.
Everyone has to
Every
have
house,
poop gardens.
yeah, every house has to have this.
I just need to know, like, if she gets into a relationship.
She doesn't.
is
That's
that
the
Yeah.
answer. She does
Yeah.
not get into a relationship.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Well, because I know there's I know it's kind of gross, but there's a disease called C. diff, and if
Mhm.
you get C. diff, somebody that is in your environment
Sure.
has to donate their poop to you,
Okay.
and they basically have to like
They put the poop in your butt, right?
yeah, because it's the same
Yeah.
exact environment that you are around, and
Yeah.
they eat the same things you do.
You have to share poopy.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And so, like,
That's gross.
if it's so unsanitary for somebody in her same environment to use the same toilet, what if she was to get this disease? How would she feel about that?
I don't think she's worried about diseases.
Yeah, I
She
don't
has
know.
human shit in her yard.
I don't
She doesn't
know.
strike me as someone who worries about most things.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I stand on my point where I would literally just shit all over her house and leave. We would never be friends
Why?
again.
Yeah. Why would you still talk to this person? Who is? Do you think people are
Yeah.
shitting in her yard?
If it came
They
to
have to
like
be.
I have to poop and I'm friends with you and I'm hanging out at your house and you're like, yeah, go for it, dude. The front door's open. I would be like, all right, and then I would leave and I
Yeah.
would delete your number.
Yeah. You wouldn't hear from me ever. Again.
Yeah.
This is the equivalent. I'm more likely. We talked about the human skull scenario. If I walk into your apartment and you've got a rack of human
Yeah.
skulls that you show me, I am more likely to still be your friend after that than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I'm like, okay, that's weird and I'm
I don't know,
uncomfortable,
man.
but that's, that's your own private niche collection. As long as I can take a shit in your house, we're cool.
I don't know. I think if I get both of these, if I walk into my first friend's house and they're like, you got to shit outside, I'm leaving. And then I'm like, you got to hear about friend number one, dude. Friend number two, you got to hear about friend number one. Friend number one's like, oh, you got to check out my skulls. I'd be like, oh, I have no more friends anymore. No more friend number one, no more friend number two. I'm done with both of them.
That's it. I got to get on Candy Crush and meet
Yeah.
some priests.
Yeah. Yeah. Start talking to the AI priests. But yeah, I'm scared of this. Don't make me poop in your yard, please. And like, where is she? Where is this?
I
I
don't
hope
want to
it's
know.
somewhere warm.
I'm going to
Yeah.
guess. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and guess California.
I could see California, Florida, like Arizona, even.
Just hot, smelly shit.
Yeah, okay.
yard.
Arizona. Maybe I'd look this up.
Maybe
on this-
Evan knows her.
Oh, maybe Evan.
Maybe Evan's pooped in the yard.
needs to go poop in her yard.
Evan needs to go poop in the yard.
216-859-8699 if you're listening to in Arizona. Is that a normal thing you guys do, is poop in the yard?
Yeah.
Hang on. Also, most of Arizona is hard clay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like,
They don't have basements because the ground is so hard and difficult to build into.
yeah, it's not like regular
Dirt.
soil
Yeah.
Or maybe
around
she
there.
lives in a soil section of Arizona.
Is that
No, no,
is that
It
a
is
thing?
now soiled.
She lived in a soiled section, yes.
That's funny.
I just
Oh,
don't
I hate her.
understand. Okay, so like
I hate you, Ivy
If-
Bloom.
if this is her thought process from the beginning, I understand her not wanting people, like if I'm trying to get in her mindset.
Sure.
Yeah, don't poop in my house, poop in my yard. But to go a step further and ask for tips for your
For
friend
what?
to dig their own hole, poop, and only use 2 squares of paper towel, and then ask for like upwards of $20 because
Yeah.
assumingly she's holding a $20 in front of this
Yeah.
picture and it's chock full of 20s.
Listen, I think the tip thing is staged entirely. I don't
Yeah.
think she's ever got a tip.
Yeah, I think that
I think she's tried.
I think that they either put that in there for this. Clearly, this girl right here is recording a TikTok video, and clearly they put those 20s in there to like fluff it up, or the owner, Miss Ivy Bloom, put the 20s in there to like make it seem like, oh yeah, people are tipping me, you know?
I still can't wrap my head around the fact that, again, you'd have to think she's super environmental person,
Yeah.
but she shits in her toilet because
Do you think
sanitary.
she ever just like doesn't?
Yeah, she probably does. I would assume that she probably shits in her yard sometimes too. If she is as hippy dippy as we're like thinking, you know? If she is living that lifestyle that we are all like communally envisioning right now, I think that she probably would go out and shit in her own yard from time to time.
I also need to know how big her backyard is.
Probably a good size.
Because if
I would
she's
hope.
having every single one of these people, every time they need to shit, go out and dig a hole 6 inches away from the last hole.
I don't think it is a good
Yeah.
size if they're using reusable poop shoes so you don't step in it. That wouldn't be an issue if the yard's big enough.
I don't know if it's necessarily just for the poop. It's probably also just like if you don't want to get your shoes dirty from walking around in a garden.
Or while you're pooping.
Yeah. Like it's probably,
Splashback.
If
you know,
on your shoes.
multi-purpose poop shoe.
if my band name, if you're that concerned about guests pooping in your house, it's time to invest in a second bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, get an
Yeah.
outhouse.
Get
Yeah.
a fucking porta potty at that point.
Yeah, and
dude.
don't put any of the blue stuff in it, and then she can just scoop out the poop and plant her own fucking plants if she wants to.
Gotta turn that 1.5 bath to a 2 bath. Quick.
I hate this. I hate this so much. This is the grossest. This might be the grossest story we've ever talked about.
It looks like there's like grass in the yard based on this picture of the TikTok video from this girl. Like,
I'm glad that's at least a fenced-in yard.
yeah, so there's privacy.
Yeah.
Right,
Imagine the
right.
neighbor walking out and just seeing you as a guest at someone's
Oh,
house, pop a
dude.
squat.
The neighbor probably smells so much shit.
I feel so bad for her neighbors.
Yeah.
216-859-8699 if you'll poop in my yard.
The Artificial Intelligence Podcast is the only show written, voiced, and scored entirely by AI. All episodes are available now on stylesrebelradio.com.
216-859-8699.
Call now.
WSRR.
All right, so I'm listening to the newest episode of the Rebel Radio Show. All right, now listen. Don't shit on Monster, all right? I'm an avid drinker. You think that it's dead. You think Monster's dead. Well, I wish I could live in your little bubble, buddy, because that's not true. Because everybody in the military drinks Monster. Everybody in blue-collar business drinks Monster. You haven't even seen the memes of the white can with the cigarettes and the vape for breakfast? Come on. You're supposed to be a social media guy and you don't know about Monster Energy? Come on. Another thing, by the way, golf. There's a lot of people in the military that love golf. A lot of young dudes. Just saying. I got more for this. When I keep listening, I think I'll probably have more. You're a disagreeable person today, sir.
I don't know how much more I have left in me. Between the Candy Crush and the AI priest and the shitting in the garden,
Yeah.
I don't know how much more I got in me today.
Yeah, you feeling a bit segue into the next topic?
I wasn't until you looked at me and I'm like, oh, we're talking about fatigue.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning. I was actually just gonna say, can we just talk for a second? But
Yeah, no, let's just talk.
I'm feeling fatigued.
No, let's talk. What's up, man? How you been?
Yeah, I've just been having a hard time lately,
Yeah, it's okay. Just keep pushing.
Got a case of wrong dog.
So what's the next topic?
You tell me. You brought it in.
So the Russo brothers had an interesting quote that I just wanted to talk on, and it has to do with superhero fatigue, and I feel like that's something that we've touched on a lot, and
Like he's got ketchup on his feet.
yeah, like old catsup feet. It's exactly what they call them all the time. But the superhero fatigue is, I don't think it's real, and I don't think most people think it's real. I think that it's just tough to consume media the way that we all want to for like big projects.
Sure.
Right? They have a quote saying I think it's a reflection of the current state of everything. It's a difficult time right now. It's an interesting time. I think we're in a transitional period and people don't quite know yet how they're going to receive the stories moving forward, or what kinds of stories they think they're going to want. And just the article headline in general, it ends with the problems with these Marvel movies aren't due to superhero fatigue, but it's a big generational divide in how about we consume media. And I think that is the interesting discussion point that I want to touch on, because I think that, like, you can look at old people want to watch movies, young people want to watch short form content, TikTok, swipe videos, and it's like, yeah, sure, that's face value true, but then how does that translate into the way that we watch movies and the way that we watch TV? And like before we came on, we were talking about how the Fallout show released, and each episode is 45 minutes, and it's 8 episodes, 7 episodes,
8 episodes.
And so like realistically, that's like 2 movies.
Yeah,
that's like the length of at least 2, movies, right?
Good length movies.
Length, 2 good length movies. And like, would that have gotten a bigger, like, would they have gotten more money by making 2 movies, or did they make the most money by releasing it the way they did in this bingeable Amazon show?
I don't think as many people would have watched it if it was a movie.
Okay, I see that, and I agree with that.
I think the Fallout audience would have, and the
Right.
Fallout audience was very hesitant already to watch it because they didn't want it bastardized like Halo.
Right.
So if they came out and said, "Oh, it's a 5-hour movie we're gonna make instead of 8 hour-long shows,"
Right.
if they came out and say, "Hey, 5-hour Fallout movie's coming out," I don't think the casual fan would watch it and go, "Oh, what the hell is Fallout? Let me watch a 5-hour movie and find out."
That's fair. That's
Whereas
fair.
someone can be like, "Oh, I'll watch an episode of the Fallout show
Yeah.
and see if I like it."
Because that's a big thing that I've heard chirped too, is like people who have never played the games or anything like that are
Yeah.
still really enjoying the show.
I heard they're gonna make a game series off the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do, 4 games in the main series and then a spin-off in Vegas or something like that. But I hope they don't bastardize it. I hope they don't really ruin the lore of the show by making it into a game.
Yeah, that would be a damn shame if
Yeah.
they turned this great show into a silly little video game. That wouldn't make any sense
No,
for
it
the
wouldn't
story.
make any damn sense,
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah.
Just like Halo when they made that into a game.
Yeah. It's making it. Why would they do that?
They kept his helmet on the whole time.
Yeah, it should take us the helmet. Show us
Right.
the actor. That's what we
Right.
want to see. Yeah.
They probably couldn't get the rights.
I brought it up on air before, right? But actors have it in their contracts that they have to have FaceTime.
Yes.
That's so
Yes.
crazy to me.
What?
Yeah, like the reason Tom Holland's face is on the poster for Spider-Man and not the Spider-Man mask. Like, look at the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Look at their posters. It's Tom Holland's face with the suit on, and he has the mask off. And that's because contractually, I would assume he had it so that
He gets FaceTime.
he gets FaceTime on the poster
instead of the character.
and he probably gets more money because of that too. But then I'm a big believer of that, like, takes away from us as fans. It's not a Spider-Man movie anymore. It's a Tom Holland movie. And
I learned about that during the last one,
Mhm.
No Way Home, because they used it. It was clever how they used it. It was the callback to the comic series where it's half the mask, half
Yeah.
Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And that was the big poster all over the town because everyone knew his identity, right?
Right.
And it's a callback to the comics, but it was also, I learned, a workaround for that because the movie there was so much based around Spider-Man and Spider-Men, and there were so many scenes he was masked.
Wow.
They
so
used that
They
to-
added in more little things
Yeah,
for him
to
to
make
get
up screen time.
FaceTime. That's
Yep.
so... I mean, like, yeah, okay, in that particular instance, it's used in, like, a cool way.
Yeah.
But that's crazy, that stuff like that. And it's only for Tom Holland to get more money. And, like, sure, I want him to,
Sure, he deserves it. And
he
all
deserves
that,
it,
but, like,
right? But like, I want Spider-Man on the poster.
Yeah.
I want the Spider-Man mask on the poster. That's what I want.
I don't want to turn on my Spider-Man movie and see Nathan Drake. That's not what I want.
Yeah, right. I'm thrown off now. Now am I watching the Uncharted movie? Imagine if they made that into a game
Dude,
too.
that would be terrible. They could never make Uncharted a game. But to your point,
Yeah, I want to. This is interesting. How we all consume media, and like, are Gen Z people less gung ho to go to the theaters and stuff like that,
I'm
and
not
especially
sure.
with COVID and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
So the theaters is a good viewpoint
Mhm.
because I've noticed that yes, they're still releasing regular movies and everything, but this generation is only getting excited for like the top 2 in the movie theater at the time.
yeah,
I-
no,
I-
that's very true.
I agree though. Like every so often I'll look at Cinemark's page and be like, I don't want to watch any of this. And it might have something that's like, oh, that's an interesting concept, but
And
right.
it's
I
brand
don't-
new and
yeah,
there's people that you like in it, but it's
yeah, I don't care enough to go see it.
So my fiance and I haven't gone to the movies in a while, and normally we go to the movies not frequently, but we go
You
enough.
go to the movies more than anyone I know.
Yeah, we enjoy the movies. It's a fun pastime. But like, we haven't gone in a while, and so over the last 2 weeks, we went and we saw Godzilla last week, and then we just saw Ghostbusters
Mhm.
yesterday. And we were like, oh, this will be fun. Like, some good movies
Yeah.
that we actually want to see are out. And Godzilla was good. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like I was, chomping at the bits to go see
Came
it.
there with all your Godzilla merch on.
Yeah, like, I wasn't super crazy hype or anything. Like, it was fun. But then we saw Ghostbusters yesterday, and it was really just like, the whole time I was like,
Yeah.
this is just okay. Like, it's cool that it's Ghostbusters, and like, it was good. It wasn't a bad
Yeah.
movie per se. I just wasn't like super thrilled to be there.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like I got a full movie experience, maybe, or something. I don't know. Like, the movie theater wasn't packed. It was very empty, and like, granted, it was the Sunday night,
Yeah.
so like, whatever. But
Well, I'll say to that, literally both of those movies, because I think they're still playing now.
yeah,
But I had looked on Cinemark and I saw both of them playing. It was something where I was, scrolling through. I'm like, I could watch that, but I don't know if I necessarily want to
Yeah.
go and spend money and drive to the theater and buy
Right.
food just to sit and watch. Like, it's not
Right.
worth that much to me.
Right.
And it's going to be something where I already know that, like, I'd watch Ghostbusters if it was on, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to go out of my way and put it on either.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if I'm at a friend's house and they're like, hey, let's throw on Ghostbusters, sure, I'll watch it, but I'm not. It's one of those movies, and I think there's a lot of media today that falls into that category of, I would watch it, but I'm not going out of my way to watch it. And I
Yeah.
think that's where the disconnect generationally of people that grew up with cable versus not is you know, when you
You're
had
starting to see it there.
when you had 500 channels, right? You'd flip through and go, I don't necessarily want to watch Monster Jam, but there's nothing else on, so I'm
Right.
going to watch Monster Jam.
Right.
Now we have everything at the touch of our fingers, so why would I go out of my way to watch something that I can find something I want to watch? I can rewatch Seinfeld or Sunny or My Name is Earl.
Right. There's probably a good like Eastern philosophical saying about it, but I feel like the power of choice is like
Power Within.
the power within. But like the power of choice is really it like stops you in your tracks, you know? You're like, "Oh fuck. I can literally watch whatever I want whenever I want. This is too much now. I don't know what to watch. What are we going to watch? What's good?" You know? As opposed to cable where like you said,
Yeah.
you'd have 600 things all on at once and you could just be like, "Well, I don't necessarily want to watch this, but I'll put it on." And then you end up finding things
It's
you
better than the
like,
other
or-
$4.99.
Yeah, right.
I've also noticed a really weird trend, at least on TikTok, where people are just posting segments of TV shows or movies, and people will watch a whole 3-hour movie in a bunch of 15-minute.
Yeah, that's
videos
stuff like
on
that is so
TikTok.
weird. And again, that goes to the whole Fallout conversation of like, should we release it in 2 movies at the theaters or should we
Right.
release it in 8 episodes for Amazon? Like, I think you probably made the better decision going with the 8 episodes to Amazon because you're going to get more people to watch it and a younger
Especially-
audience probably. You know?
Especially now with all of literally every single social media has shorts or some version of
Yeah,
that.
right.
So
Well, let me put it this way. Especially if it's not something I already have a prior interest in, right?
Mhm.
If it's not something I've seen, if it's not like Sunny where I know I'm going to sit down and enjoy it and I
Right.
can watch 8 episodes in a row, right?
Right.
If it's not something like that, if it's a new movie that comes out
Mhm.
and it's a 3-hour movie, it seems interesting, but I got to find 3 hours to watch it.
Right.
It's absolutely psychotic for me to sit there and watch 45 minutes, pause it, and come back to it. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Who does that to a movie?
Right.
But if it's 4 shows, I
Right.
can watch 3 episodes and then come back and pick up with a recap.
And I think what's interesting about that there is like the power of editing.
Sure.
Of how you can do that with like how the editors are the ones who have the choice of, is it going to be a movie or is it going to be a show? You can take all the same scenes, make it run the same way and have them take place in the same order, but
just pause here.
just
and
pause
there.
here. Yeah, pause here, commercial here, whereas opposed to 2 hours worth of all of the scenes.
Continuous play.
Right.
Do you concern yourself with watch times when you find content?
Mm.
I found myself recently, like if before work I got 2
Mhm.
hours,
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't want to watch a long form video on YouTube. I don't want to watch a 45-minute show.
Interesting.
I want to watch a bunch of 15-minute content.
Interesting.
Or if like I get home from work and I'm like, I don't want to think, I just want to
Mhm.
fucking relax. That's when I go to like hour and a half long vlog and I'll watch that.
I think I do that probably more subconsciously than
Mhm.
anything. I think there's probably times or like if it's late at night, I'll probably watch more long form. Or
Yeah.
if it's I think it's more like a subconscious timing thing for me with that. But yeah, I probably do the same thing too.
But it is weird we have that disconnect now of cable versus now. Because even movies, right? We just got done talking about the fact that I'm probably not going to throw on a random movie. I'd rather go and watch something I know I'm going to enjoy for 2 hours if it's a movie, right?
Right.
But I know we have the conversation all the time of how many times as a kid did you have just movies in your house that you would rewatch and you didn't even necessarily like the movie that much?
Yeah.
Like I bring up Wild Hogs all the time.
Yeah.
It's an okay movie. I'd watch it again.
Right.
But nothing is phenomenal, but it's not hilarious. It's not a blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
But I probably watched Wild Hogs at least 25 times because I had the DVD.
Right. Yeah. It's that, and maybe we reached a threshold.
Sorry,
with that,
Wild
like,
Hogs diehards. I know
No,
you're out
listen,
there.
man, I love me some Wild Hogs.
Tim Allen.
Yeah, dude.
And then he goes,
But like you
Isn't
have
Travolta in that movie?
Yeah. You have like in the beginning, you had like 30 DVDs or something like
In
that.
the
right?
beginning, there were 30 DVDs.
But, like, you only had a little bit at
Yeah.
first. You only had a couple. And so it was like, okay, well, I have these 6 movies that I love.
Yeah.
Let's just put these on
Watch
rotation.
6 movies.
Yeah, let's just put these on rotation, And now we have
Everything.
15,000 movies across 3 or 4 different apps.
Is
And
it too much?
Yeah.
Do we have too much now?
We're
I think that's the thing.
overstimulated.
I think it's too much for our brains to be like, well, I don't think we can process the question, what do we want to watch with the resources that we have now?
Yeah.
I think it's like we start to buzz out like, oh shit, I don't know what to do. What am I watch?
There
watch?
was a commercial that called that exact like middle between shows. It's called the show hole in a commercial. I'm not exactly sure what commercial it was, but I distinctly remember it because it's like after you finish a show and you have no idea what to watch and there's so many other shows out there.
Yeah.
You're just looking at everything. You're in a
Right.
show hole because
Yeah.
you're just like, you're kind of sad because you ended your show and you have nothing to watch, but you have so much to watch and you can't figure out what to.
Right.
I think we can equate the same thing to food, though. You say, hey, what do you want to eat? I have no idea because there's 900 options all around,
Right.
and I don't feel like any of them.
Right.
But
Yeah.
if there was a McDonald's and a Subway and that was it, or I could make something, I'd have an answer real quick.
Right.
Is it an Arby's night? Is it
Yeah,
McDonald's
right,
night, or is
right.
it what is it?
Right.
I think that's the issue. Another thing is you brought up the point of the generational gap of short 15-second, 15-minute videos just on TikTok and Facebook and stuff. That bugs the shit out of me. I think one of my biggest pet peeves is if you're watching a movie or a show with someone and they're just kind of scrolling the doom scroll while they watch. They're subconsciously watching the thing.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
Call me out next time.
Watch the fucking show. Watch the fucking show. If you're watching the show, watch the show.
Yeah, no, I subscribe to that.
It's not that good. You can leave the room.
I subscribe to that. I think that's where it gets like it's hard to pay attention now.
And it's something that's literally meant to distract you to begin with. Like,
right.
I'm watching the movie or I'm watching TV, and that is the distraction from life. Now I need a distraction from the distraction.
Yeah.
That's such a fucking wild concept.
Yeah.
Commit to one thing.
Yeah. And so like it's weird that I want to make this comparison, but like you look at people who like can knit and do things. You see
Right.
people who just like in the middle of a conversation they'll pull out their sewing and they'll start knitting or something like that.
Mhm.
I feel like it's the same thing but like with a fresh coat of paint. It's the same concept of like my brain is still working, but my brain is working on the first thing, but to make it work better on the first thing, I need the second thing.
See, my only argument with that is you're using different mediums. So, like, knitting, you don't necessarily need to be looking at what you're knitting if you know what you're doing.
Right.
If I'm consuming a show, the whole point is that I'm watching the show. If I'm looking at my phone and looking at a meme and just hearing the show,
Right.
I'm not watching the show.
And I can agree with that. And I can agree with that too. I think that is the big disconnect. And that's where it gets like, well, then there's fidget toys and stuff,
Sure.
like.
I mean, I've caught myself like having something on YouTube and then opening my phone and watching a fucking reel that someone sent me and being, what am I doing?
Yeah.
There's no need for two things to be playing right now because it's impossible for me to focus on both.
Right. Yeah, it's we're getting to a bad stage. We're getting to late stage problems with our brains.
Yes. And I don't think it's superhero fatigue. to bring it
Yeah, I
back.
don't think it's superhero fatigue that's doing this.
Now I will
It's just
say,
technology fatigue.
Yeah.
I will say, there's trend fatigue. I think.
Yeah.
I know. Jake likes to talk about it as I don't want to watch 8 different multiverse movies from
Yeah.
the same studio.
Yeah.
1, maybe 2.
Right.
Space them out.
Yeah.
That doesn't need to be every film.
Right.
I don't need to see Spider-Man fight the same villains in different areas. I don't need that.
Well, and I think too that was like the multiverse was just like they realized that it was a trend, and
Yeah.
so they were gonna just
Big cash in.
huge payout for that. Everything was gonna be multiverse because they knew that it was gonna bring them money, and
And it was
it's-
also easy
right.
to set up whatever storyline you
Yeah.
wanted
Right.
with
Well,
the multiverse.
so
Yeah.
he popped in from a hole, so he's here now, or right. And so now I think we're like on the downtick of that. slowly but surely on the downtick. And then, like, again, too, you can be like, well, Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be sick, and we're all going to be so excited about that, and that's going to be time travel. You know, like, that's going to be multiverse-y shit. But we're going to love it. So, like, is it really, you know, I think it's just bad movie fatigue.
Yeah.
Like, we just don't want to watch shitty versions of that.
Yeah.
And when you start putting out a lot of, like, the random C-list characters or whatever, then it's like, okay, well, we're not going to enjoy this, and you're watering down your own product.
Yeah, I guess to bring it back, it's if I want to watch the same movie, I'll watch the same movie. You don't have to make it again.
Yeah.
I don't have to relearn this movie.
Right.
If I want to watch Talladega Nights, I've got it on DVD, and I'll watch it again this week.
Right.
I'm not going to watch a second movie about racing that's a comedy and a buddy cop. Like, I don't need all that.
Right.
Don't have to make it again.
Don't shit
I've got
on Cars like that.
Cars is the worst Talladega Nights.
It's the worst sequel ever. Worst prequel of all time.
It's a racing buddy cop. Like,
it's a racing buddy cop.
Yeah.
They're cops.
Yeah, they're cops.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I see what you mean. And like, yeah, I get that. I want to watch the movies that I enjoyed the first time again.
The ones that got it right.
Yeah, I don't want to watch new versions of your attempt at making that first thing.
It's a lighter version of a shitty remake.
Yeah.
It's
Or
a
like
lighter
a
version of a
prequel.
shitty remake.
Like when a prequel usually comes out, you know
Why are
it's
you saying
gonna...
prequel like that?
Prequel, that's what it is.
It's not a quill, it's a qual. Prequel. Like a
Yeah.
sequel?
Prequel.
Yeah.
Sequel.
Wow. No, you're definitely saying sequel. Like
Yeah.
SEAQUILL.
Yeah, like a porcupine.
Yeah.
Sequel. I don't know.
Sequel.
That's okay. I say TV.
TV?
Like
I say Taco Bell.
TV. We're watching a TV. I always say it like that. I don't know.
You guys are giving me an aneurysm over here.
No, I'm sorry.
Breaking the goddamn system.
It's okay. Say coleslaw.
Coleslaw.
Nope.
Coleslaw?
He says coleslaw.
Coleslaw.
I think the worst one I've ever heard is Chipotle.
Chipotle?
Chipotle?
Yeah, from a very Caucasian caucus man.
I've heard someone unironically say it chipotle.
Yeah. That's
Like,
okay.
I say it as a meme, but like I've heard someone believe that it was chipotle before.
Yeah.
That's
Potato-
insane.
Potato chipotle.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah. You know. Avengers, you know.
Avengers.
And some people say that.
Fantastic Quattro.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Which also is going to be a multiverse movie that I'm excited for.
Yeah, right. Like, we just want the big. I heard someone say what I said a couple minutes ago on a video. They were saying, like, we don't want to see these small characters that we don't care about. Give us the big name superheroes that everyone loves. Don't, like, you know, beat around the bush. Give us the cool ones that we want to see, and we will come see them. You know?
It's kind of like looking at it like the Rock Hall, right? You have glaring omissions, but you'll put the Dave Matthews Band in. We don't have a canon Fantastic Four, but we have Madam Web. No one was asking for that. Focus on the main players first.
Right. Yeah, and it's like Madam Web's whole thing, the trailer banked on the pictures of like the Spider Women in their suits doing their cool poses, and everyone was like, "Oh, we're going to get to see them in the movies." And those scenes that were in the trailers were the only scenes of them in the suits. Crazy.
I don't want to get into Madam Web. That's a whole nother discussion. 216-859-8699. Let me know if you want to watch Talladega Nights tonight. You can go to stylesrebelradio.com. It's got all of our shows, all of our content, all of our show times. It's the homepage for WSRR Radio. We're live 24/7, 365, heard worldwide. Live 365 app takes us with you wherever you go. Of course, stylesrebelradio.com gets you there as well. We're live every Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We're also simulcast on YouTube. WSRR Radio on YouTube. What else, Shane?
Sometimes I like to play a little game with myself when I'm in the car called How Many Red Cars Do I See? And I just count when I see different red cars, and I'm like, one red car.
Don't you do a show?
And I do off air. I have off air. You can check it out at stylesrebelradio.com.
Off air comes out twice a month. The recasts are also 3 p.m. weekdays. Pigeonhole at 4 p.m. on weekdays. You can catch those as they drop as well. All of our podcasts and shows are at stylesrebelradio.com. The new Rebel podcast drops every Wednesday, 10 a.m., all major platforms. Again, I want to give another shout out to Synergy Music Studios out in Chicago.
Yeah.
216-859-8699 is the number to text in for any of our shows. Leave us a message of voicemail at any time. Or, of course, the Discord server. I just re-updated it last night, so there's a bunch of new stuff in there. StylesRebelRadio.com. Get you there. But until next time, I've been Radio's Rebel DJ Styles. I'm Riders Shaney.
Bye, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Adios.
Peace.